Hi guys, welcome back to the bubble nest. It is quite the catastrophe down here right now, and for those of you that have been following my progress recently, I just landed basically my absolute dream, a deal of an absolute lifetime. Like, I cannot even explain how amazing this opportunity was, and I managed to get my hands on 60 fish tanks. And right now that number still completely boggles my mind. Sorry about the glare from the window over there. It is like 90 degrees here in Pennsylvania and it's absolutely gorgeous out, and I'm in my basement as usual with my fish room, so everything is completely torn apart. Everything is glary and messy and gross, but you kind of gotta undo stuff in order to make stuff work. I figured as a little bit of an update, I would show you where the first set of the racking system was gonna go. And excuse me, as Michael would say, I'm fine. This wall right here is going to be the subject of the first racking system. And kind of what I decided here was this wall here, I think, is going to have maybe shrimp tanks. So like the 10 gallons and row of 3, because I believe I think I can get 3 rows of fish tanks, and if I do the 10 gallons and have them pointing long ways, they'll fit there nicely. And then the rest of this whole wall, which is about 14 feet, this will be 20 longs. And again, if I can fit them, I think I can get three rows of them, and about, let me see, I actually measured it out on the floor, but the floor looks terrible. I did the measurements, and I think I can get 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can get between 5 and 6 rows of 3 20 longs on this wall here. So obviously the old beta, this fry rack here, this will actually be gone, and all of the fry will transfer into all of the fish tanks up here, and they will all have like around about 3 gallons a piece ish, give or take. So that's super exciting. I'm completely excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of work, and honestly, you know, your dreams aren't gonna come true if you're not willing to really work hard for them, and that is exactly what I'm gonna do. I have some really fantastic people in the community that are helping with my planning ideas, just to make sure that I've never done this before, obviously, but my plans for the fish room, obviously I'm kind of looking for people that have already done it or who are going through it. So my good friend Chris Weber, Palmer Aquatics, he actually has been brainstorming with me, and we've been going back and forth as to what would be a good build and so on and so forth. So thank you Chris. Now, as for that, so this wall here, this is gonna be my first build, to get the 20 racks going. And actually, certainly for the beginning of it, it will house a majority of my last batch of beta fry. I have about 100, and last count I think it was about 140 fry total. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's really dusty down here because I just swept all the floors, so it's kind of gross. But that's gonna house like the majority of the betta fry. They're all gonna be in the tanks. I'm gonna have the tanks divided on a central sump system, and they will be there until they find their forever homes, or they're just gonna stay with me because I love them and I don't care. They don't need forever homes. They can stay with me. Just don't tell my husband that they're staying with me. Anyway, so this area over here, which has the old goldfish tub. Now there's nothing in this right now, but this area is, this area here, and again, I'm gonna try and block that light. Is it gonna work? Yeah. So this area here, there is a wall here that is about 4 foot. This wall here, this one is about 4 foot, and this one's probably about 3 feet. So I believe that this area, I'm gonna make that into the quarantine area for fish that are coming in or fish that are going out, or heaven forbid if anyone's actually gonna be sick. Quarantine area is absolutely paramount to a fish room, and that has to be done. That has to be done. I will not be bringing any additional fish in to this fish room until this build is completely done, and the quarantine system is up and running. That's going to be the first 20 racks, the first 20 tanks here, the quarantine area over here, the tub. Not sure what I want to do with that yet. That may actually end up being my sump pump, like the area for collecting the water, because all of these tanks are actually, all of the new tanks, they're actually all pre-drilled, and they're gonna go from the top, like the water's gonna come into the top of the tanks and rotate through all of the tanks down into a central sump. So all of the water will go into the sump pump, be filtered and fed back into the system. Another reason that it's going to be absolutely paramount to be quarantined for 2 months before anything goes into these systems. If these tanks weren't already pre-drilled, I probably would have just ran air and had air pumps in them, and I may actually still do that. I may actually just end up running all of these running these tanks on a central air system rather than actually having them on a central sump pump, for the pure and simple fact that I'm not sure if I'm okay with fish getting sick, because part of my project that I have planned out in my head for the other side, for this wall over here, that wall over there is actually going to be a very special project, and those fish I absolutely cannot afford. I will not be able to afford to have them get sick, but that's all stuff that we got to think about in the future. For now, I need to get this first racking system done. The area is for the most part prepped, so that's gonna be the next is going to be the build of this whole system, blocking this off. I think I'm going to have to get some sort of vented stone or something, because that actually goes underneath my not my porch, but like it's kind of between my kitchen and my dining room. Right now this is like up here is my dining room, and that is kind of my entryway over there. So I can't block it off completely because it's the only other place that's kind of allowing airflow through. So I'm gonna have to maybe use some sort of stone in here that can, like the breather blocks or whatever they're called, I forget. But until I'm gonna start working on this rack and getting that put together. Hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have something more, some more progress, like actual progress that you can see, rather than just seeing, yeah, I swept the floors and I moved stuff and everything's dusty and dirty. But hopefully what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have at least the first part of this build done And I'm so excited. Like, I am so incredibly excited about it because it's gonna be fantastic to see all of these tanks and walking through into my basement and just seeing a wall of tanks and then another whole wall of tanks and maybe even like a couple of my own built walls of tanks. Just don't tell my husband yet because oh, it's gonna be great.